If you have the truth,
that's exactly right.
whether it's Israel, Judaism, whatever, let them do that. And then ask them, I remember seeing when like Schultz went on,
it's
like
actually,
Patrick Bet David, and he
I
goes,
hate saying this, but it's actually God.
yeah.
I say, let me introduce you to a guy you may have never met. His name is God.
Did you actually hear though that like the New Testament, the Gospels were actually written by Jews?
Who's that? Is that Jake Shields?
Yeah, it's actually I think the Gospels were written by Mossad because they were all Jews. Did you know that? And like actually, like Jesus might have been a Jew. That's what they say. He might have been actually secretly a Jew as a psyop. And I'm like, you're talking about all these cults and stuff secretly founded by Jews. Hey, you know who founded Christianity? Jew. They're behind everything. So.
And a Jew founded Islam too.
Oh, yeah?
Muhammad was a Jew.
Really?
He was married to a Jew, wasn't he?
And his wife was a Jew too.
Interesting.
She was
And,
Jew
you
and
know,
everything.
he was Jewier than the Jews.
Sephardi, definitely Sephardi.
Two things real quick. You got off track a little bit with your you were going to do your
the layers.
my
Kanye.
Kanye thing.
Oh, the
layers thing was fascinating. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we
No,
got
but that's what the Kanye layers
I wanna
too.
hear that
because,
rest of
you
that.
know, he is an artist, and I try always telling him, "Why don't you come and talk to a Jew who knows? I'll set you straight."
Yeah.
But he runs from me, scared shitless, or whatever. He doesn't get it yet. But here's what I'm going to say. I think what he was saying when he came out and took it is put depth into it, and I love that he walked out unpierced. That's what I call him.
Pierced.
Yeah. I love that he left unpierced.
Your interview with Pierce was hilarious.
The
You
best.
like call him out and you're like, and I guess I respect you. You just eviscerate him and say, but I guess I respect you because you're doing what, just like, it was hilarious. But you like that he did that.
Well, no, I think this is what he said.
Yeah.
He goes, "Hey, I'm addicted to laughing gas. I got to go to rehab for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all fucked up, and my kids never call me, and I can't get to my kids. I'm a fucked up mess, and I'm full of hate, self-hate. And so, I, of course, hate the Jews. Because that's what's in that Sartre book, John Paul Sartre.
Yeah.
He said, anti-Semitism is nothing more than self-hatred.
I think that's true.
Isn't that true?
That's Douglas Murray
And
said
that's
that.
and that's just what Kanye said. And he goes, "I've given up on anti-Semitism. I apologize for the pain I've caused. My kids FaceTime me, and I feel better."
Yeah.
That was such a predictable outcome from where this was all going to go.
But I think that's what
I'm serious.
No, but I think that's what
I
he was
agree.
saying all along is, of course I hate the Jews. I'm a fucked up drug addict. I'm so fucked up my wife won't let my kids around me. And I act like a pimp, and
And you hate the thing you aspire to be, but cannot be in some sense. When he's talked about he went on this one rant. A lot of this is also just a lot of mania and projection. Douglas Murray said, "You tell me what the Jews are guilty of, and I'll tell you what you're guilty of." Remember, that's his whole line. Like it's a projection. The whole thing about Israel is a projection. Complete, not just falsehood, inversion.
Right.
It's one thing to lie.
Yeah.
It's another thing to have anti-truth.
Right.
Which is the complete inversion. So everything they accuse Israel of is actually what's being perpetuated against Israel.
Right.
And Kanye's rants on the Jews, look, I think a lot of it from his standpoint comes from places of pain and mental health and spiraling.
Well,
but what's weird to me is the
when
world's
he was
response to it
talking-
and lionizing him as
After
some
he
truth
said
teller.
he was
Yeah.
blowing his cousin,
Yeah.
then he goes, his cousin had porn in his house, but he goes, "I went in my mom's closet, and the shit I saw in her magazines, I was never the same." So I knew right away it was SRA, it's satanic ritual abuse.
Oh, interesting.
So his mom was a witch. That's obvious because she went to the uptown fucking colleges and started acting like that because they're all witches. They're all fucking lesbian witches. I say it all the time. I know I was in the left. So she took him to that fucking satanic shit. And that's what he's fighting. And that's why he tried to become a Christian, to exercise himself. But his sexual thing, he can't let it go because he's, traumatized because of, sexual abuse.
Trauma, yeah. I also think he has a Jesus complex where he has this megalomaniac, calls himself Jesus, this whole idea that I'm going to say, I love Hitler, and I'm going to be hated. I'm going to sacrifice my image. I'm going to burn it all down.
The white noise in my head to just shove food or snacks in my face is gone. I don't know if you're like me. I find myself blacked out. I call it werewolfing, and I'll find myself in a pantry at like 2 a.m. just shoving animal cookies in my face, and I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's stress. I talked to nutritionists and therapists about it. The people at TWC told me that there's a hormonal thing, potentially, that this might help. And I shit you not, I've been taking it, and that white noise is gone. I haven't really changed my life or my diet. I'm not exercising anymore. but that incessant need, those cravings that drive you crazy, they're gone. This is called drop, and it's I can't say what it's comparable to, but there's a shot that a lot of overweight people were getting in Hollywood. A lot of people lost a lot of weight, and it's taken the world by storm, but there are side effects with it, mostly because you're getting this big shot once a week. So what TWC did is they developed drop, which is basically a low dose entry into it. So you're just doing a little bit a day. You're acclimating your body, so the side effects are virtually non-existent with this. And I think just for that alone, you guys, it is worth trying. I'm not going to tell you anymore. You want to try it yourself? Go ahead. Go to twc.health/RB. You'll get 10% off your first order. Use the code RB and try it yourself. But I'll tell you, for me, it has changed my life. Honestly, just not having that nagging, it's liberating. That's the word for it. I am liberated.
But it's a poison. It's a destructive element. The thing that disturbs me is not this artist on a spiral who's got resentment. Yeah. It's everybody else. It's 30 million followers who all lionize it and say, controversial figure, Kanye West has really been spicing things up lately. And they fetishize his illness. Yeah. They fetishize his decline. And I'm not even trying to say we should all feel bad for Kanye if you know him, whatever. But the idea that they try to pedestal it, and the only reason they do is because he's this famous person with this famous platform, and he's turning all these people to say Kanye speaks truth. He's noticing Jews. He's noticing this, and I'm like, guys, call it for what it is, and don't be so cowardly as to just call this for what it is and try to fetishize it and use it for clout.
Yeah, but like he says, his trainer, that Harvey, what's his face?
Yeah, he had a Jew handler.
A Jew handler. Yeah. I mean, we all have a Jew handler.
Yeah, I think that's what he's really speaking out
There's
against.
douches everywhere.
Yeah. It's all Jewish. Anybody who's a bodybuilder trainer in Hollywood is friggin' pure Mossad. I mean, they are.
I think he had a Jew handler and he's pissed about it. That's my take.
Yeah, there's clearly he had bad. Look, you can analyze social situations in which there's dynamics that brew resentment between certain groups. Yeah. If you're somebody who's not in the Jewish community or whatever, and you're
is the CIA, and of course they're working with Mossad.
Listen,
of course, all those fucking guys work together. They all work for MI6, which is owned by British Crown, who's the one that fucks everything up. They're the ones that fucked up the whole Middle East.
It's always the British.
And then they go around acting like
hurtful.
Israel is a colonial. What the fuck? What about India, you cunt? It pisses me off.
Oh, you see.